Lord, we lift your name on high. All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome. No, I don't even like that. Good morning. Good morning, class. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Why I keep wanting to say the Auntie Java podcast. What am I? What is my identity? Okay, my name is Victory. Welcome back to another episode of the Just Java podcast. I repeat that name, Jesus. I am your host. What? Dang, like I really don't know who I am today or what I'm supposed to say. I think I'm just so like excited to get this out because this is such a release for me to go ahead and get this out of my system. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because we overcome the enemy by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So I'm finna testify. So I can't even, you know what I'm saying? I can't even keep still, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. I am excited to get this off of my chest because I'm finna call it out. You know what I'm saying? I got that from the real when they would call. It don't matter. So I'm gonna start from the top. I'm gonna run it back one more time. Ready? Bear with me. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Auntie. No, that's not me anymore. Step into your calling. Step into your newness. Welcome back to another episode of the Just Java podcast. There we go. That was extremely hard for me to get out. Anyway, so today I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of a controversial subject. It's not really controversial because I got my take on it. You can have your take. I ain't finna argue with nobody though. Believe that. Know about it. So anyway, I'm gonna start off by saying that I still keep Jasmine Sullivan in rotation. That doggone hotels, and excuse my language if you don't like the word hoe, but you know what I'm saying? Hoe is a tool. It's a tool. We use it all the time. Ho, 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 ho. Santa Claus use it. The gardeners use it. The Jezebels use it. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a word that we use all the time. So Jasmine Sullivan has an album called Hotels. Now, I would not suggest you listen to it if you got sensitive ears. Even the non-explicit version has a little bit of, it's giving very much explicative. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really told her story. But I commend Jasmine because that album is very raw. It gives like real tales, well, what I'm assuming are real tales from real women and their like whole phases, whole journeys, whatever the case you want to call it. 9.9% of us out of 10, is that how you say it? 9.9 of us out of 10 have had that phase. So before you start calling homegirl all type of names, forgive so you can be forgiven. Okay? Don't start doing too much. It's okay. We've all fallen short, okay? And that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about because there's a song on the album called Lost One. To this day, the song tears me up. It's about, so before that, she gives an interlude of this lady telling her story. And essentially what the lady is saying is that, why am I so out of breath? I might need some water. Whew, is the pollen kicking anybody else's behind? Because the pollen is really knocking me down. Like, I can't breathe through my nose. I cannot breathe through my nose, and a big old bumblebees is outside. They mistaken me for a flower. It's just all bad. So anyway, it's about a girl who was dating this. Well, she was actually dating another girl, but in my case, it was a guy. Like, she was dating this girl, and she cheated on the girl, and she was like, I don't know why I did it. It just kind of happened. Blah blah blah. And that was my story. Okay, I ain't never cheated before. I couldn't really put no cause to it. I don't know why I did it. It was just kind of one of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got unresolved issues with your ex. You're trying to work it out. Y'all don't really know how to communicate. All y'all know how to do is, you know what I'm saying, things that the Lord did not ordain. It happened, okay? And so that for me happened back in 2018. And that was the very beginning of 2018. So I want to say that I have passed my 2-year mark of healing. But no, that happened at the very beginning of 2018. And that has been something that I wrestled with in my mind for the longest. Like I said, I had never done that before. And that was my first time not that it's gonna be another time. Let me be clear about that. That was my first time doing that, and for the longest I took that on. Like, you are this, you are a cheater, you're manipulative, you are a liar, you are all of that. And I really took that on to my identity. So I really applaud Jasmine for singing that song about how she lost a good one and and she really let her feelings out here to let wow, am I stuttering today? She really got her feelings out here to let y'all boy know that she has cheated. Well, I don't know if she cheated or she was thinking about homegirl that cheated, but anyway, there was cheating involved, you know what I'm saying? She's still healing from it. We're still moving forward. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So yes, just wanted to let y'all know I have cheated before, but I'm not a cheater. So let's get into that. Let's reel it in, let's get into that. So what I really wanted to talk about today are labels and how we should be really careful of how we label ourselves and how we label other people. So for the longest, I really had in my mind that like, this is a part of my identity now. This is a part of my makeup. I am now a cheater. There's nothing I can do to change it. I will always have those scars on me. Like, even if I stopped actively cheating, that sounds crazy. Even if I stopped actively cheating, that's a part of my identity. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. Not just, from a biblical standpoint, but I just feel like we have to be so careful with labeling people and labeling ourselves, because when you label people, it really sticks to them, whether there's validity to it or not. Like, you label people or you label yourself, and people have a hard time believing themselves otherwise. Like, they have a hard time believing themselves out of that space. So if I'm walking around thinking, wow, I'm a cheater, I ain't gonna never be this, I ain't gonna never be that, I'm a failure, I ain't gonna never be this, I ain't gonna never be that, it's hard for me to see it any other way. And especially if you're labeling me as that, like how we'll label people mean, or we'll label people, you know what I'm saying, liars or cheaters or whatever the case may be. And there may be validity to that. There very may be, like, they might have done that before. And I'm not saying that that's not like something that they've displayed or something that they have shown you before, but we have to be so careful with labeling people, because now if that's all I see, it's going to be hard for me to think of myself as something other than that. You know what I'm saying? Even if that has been my story before, it's hard for me to see something outside of that. And that's why I think I have a problem with cancel culture a little bit. Because, like, okay, let me be real, right? I'm going to be real, raw, and honest. I believe in grace, right? So I really believe that we should show people grace. I'll cancel people to a certain extent. So let me explain what I mean. So, like, and see, I be so off social media sometimes, I don't even be knowing who we canceling these days. So I'll probably be eating at places that be calling me the N-word, and that's fine. That's fine. Just let me know what I'm doing and I'll stop. Okay? Except, never mind, I ain't even gonna go there. But, like, so I will cancel to a certain extent. So I will say, I ain't gonna really mess with them no more. I ain't gonna really eat there no more. I ain't gonna go out my way to bash them. I ain't gonna go out my way to, well, it depends. No, I ain't gonna bash. Anyway, I'm going to cancel to the extent of I'm not gonna put myself in harm's way. So I'm not gonna be in a space where you can take for granted my grace or just not use wisdom. I ain't gonna never be in that space. Now, will I go out bashing you? Will I go out putting a label on you? Will I go out not forgiving you? Absolutely not. I may move myself out of harm's way, but I'm not going to actively place a label on you, because that takes away your room for growth. That puts this thing on you of like, you'll never be nothing. You'll always be who you were, what you displayed, whatever. Now, that's a little different for corporations. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you gotta kind of remove your, like, I don't want to be where they calling me the N-word. I don't too much want to be a part of that. But I will say that I ain't gonna get into that. But people-wise, friend to friend, brother to sister, mother to daughter, whatever the case may be, you have to be really careful labeling people. I actually saw a tweet that said, so she was talking about how, like, it's hard to come like into a different character development once you reach a certain age. And I was actually reading up on that, and like I think it's like a whole thing where like once you reach your 30s or something like that, that's pretty much your personality. And me personally, I know what studies show, but I also know what I've experienced in my own life. And I don't believe that anybody's stuck and bound to something. I believe that anything is possible to like him who believes. Like if you believe and you want to change, I believe you can. Like I don't believe that nothing is ever, you could have been a cheater your whole life, and not just bound it to cheater, but you could have been a liar, a manipulator, an abuser, a doggone car thief. You could have been stealing remotes out of people's houses. You could have been putting your jacket on backwards. I don't know what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? But you're not bound to that. And you could literally be 999 years old, finna kick the bucket, and be like, you know what? I think I don't want to be that no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to stick my hand in nobody's purse no more. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you are willing to change that, be ye changed, be ye transformed, my dog. Let me stop. Sorry, God. I'm not going to do that again. But anyway, so that to say that, oh, I missed an important part of something that I wanted to talk about. I really resonate. So, disclaimer, if you have not watched the last season of Insecure, meaning season, I think it was season 4, I'm finna spoil it. It's okay, that's fine. Lawrence and Issa really, they had a talk, right? And Issa was asking Lawrence, like, oh, so you really bought me a ring? Like that was something that you were gonna do for me? And Lawrence was like, yeah, I mean, before you cheated, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna buy you a ring, or I did buy you a ring, or whatever. And Issa got quiet. And Lawrence was like, oh, you just realized that you ain't fill in the blank, SH, sugar honey, you know what I'm saying, fill in the blank. And Issa said, man, I really wasn't, but I am now. And that thing resonated in my spirit, because yeah, she wasn't before, but she is now. And I'm telling you, y'all, anybody could change from anything. We just got to show people grace. So anyway, I was watching the Love Out podcast. This was months ago though. I love that podcast. Shout out to Mrs. Kev on Stage and Kev on Stage. And they were, I don't know what they were talking about, honestly, I can't remember. Don't get me the line, child. But they was talking about something about trying, or like imposter syndrome, or failing, or something like that. And Kev was talking about, y'all should really go listen to that podcast. Like, I know it's about love and relationships, but I feel like they give so much, first of all, I ain't get paid to promote them. If y'all see this, run me a little coin. I'll put my cash out below. Do something. Patreon me, something. So in the podcast, they talk about love, life, relationships, all that type of stuff. But they were talking about, I think it was imposter syndrome. I want to say it was imposter syndrome. And Kev was saying how he had told himself that he could never grow a beard. And even though he had never actively tried to grow a beard, he had convinced himself in his mind that he could not grow a beard. And he was saying how not only did he convince himself that he couldn't grow a beard, but he was accepting the fate of something that he hadn't even tried. Let me tell you something. Do not accept a fate that is not yours. If you want to be new, if you want to have healing, if you don't want to live up to that label, can't nobody call you something other than what you answer to, baby. And that's just on that. That's word to Medea, Tyler Perry, Bam, whoever said it, and whichever one of them plays. You do not have to answer to anything other than what you want to answer to. And that is more than just how you're greeted or how you're seen, but that's literally like a heart thing. Like if you have made a change in your heart, or a change in your attitude, or a change in whatever, you don't have to accept no labels. You don't have to accept no labels. So I wanted to leave you with 2 Peter 3:9 that says, don't overlook the obvious here, friends. With God, one day is as good as 1,000 years. 1,000 years is as a day. God isn't late with the promise, as some measure lateness. He is restraining himself on account of you, holding back the end because he doesn't want anyone lost. He's giving everyone space and time to change. That's the Messenger version. The King James Version might read, be ye saved, be ye transformed, be ye renewed. But I don't know what it says in the King James. But the Messenger Version reads as follows. I just wanted you guys to know that you are not your past. You are not what you have been labeled. And also keep them labels off of other people. Don't be around here telling people that they is this, that isn't that, because they're going to take that on. You know what I'm saying? Let people have that. And this is not like a reference to anybody or anyone in particular. It was just something that I think, honestly, what made me think about it was hotels, number one. And number two, the whole Quavo Saweetie thing and how Quavo been cheating on Saweetie. Is that, do people call her Saweetie or do they just call her Sweetie? I call her Saweetie. How Quavo was cheating on Saweetie, and it was just like, yeah, all these Migos be cheating. Now that may be true. They may have been cheaters. And they might continuously be cheating. But I just, from my own personal experience, I'm a living testimony, okay? God can change and do anything with anybody. To my husband, if you listening, I ain't cheated in about 2 years. Prior to that, I never did it. It's not on my resume. It's not on my track record. I have been washed clean, white as snow. I got my hand on my bed like I'm pregnant. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys, and that, first of all, let me say that is not to abandon wisdom and put yourself in harm's way. I want to make that very clear. That's not to abandon wisdom. Be like, oh, well, that can change, and I know I'm supposed to endure, because I know they gonna, we ain't pulling no page off of Married at First Sight. I'm sorry, my girl. I'm sorry, my girl. If you're watching, you're listening by chance, I'm lifting you up. Because you know, God doggone well. And I may be wrong, Lord. Send the angels if I'm wrong. But I don't believe the Lord told you to endure no foolishness. So I pray you be ready for his return. God is still God. God is still good, like I said. Yeah, so I'm going to leave y'all. We're going to catch you. Who is we? Who's here? Who's here besides me? Who's here? Who's here? Except the presence of the Lord. Because I keep saying we. I'm going to catch y'all next time on another episode of the Just Job Podcast. Did I pause it or do I boom? Yeah.
Welcome to first class.
I talk to myself, I mean I got homies but they don't really feel my pain.